Now assume that you are a central banker. That is, you are the only person, the only institution in the country that is allowed to produce paper money. I jump over the question, how was it possible that paper money even came into existence? Because we cannot begin monetary development with just paper money. Paper was initially just titles to something else. But I jump over this problem. Assume that you are at the stage where paper money has, in fact, successfully been introduced. Should mention, of course, that can never be done without engaging in some sort of criminal activity. But this crime, let's forget. So you are the only person in the country that can print paper money. Nobody else is allowed to do it. Anybody else who does it will be jailed as a counterfeiter and put into prison. Now, what will you do if you have this type of monopoly power? Now, if you were an angel, you might not do anything. But if you are just a normal person, you will, of course, realize that you have some sort of magic wand. All you need to do is you print up at almost zero cost pieces of paper, and then you can turn around and buy a Mercedes or a BMW with this piece of paper. You will also make a surprising discovery, or not so surprising discovery, namely that you have far more friends than you ever imagined that you might have, who all come to you and tell you, look, I need a BMW also, a nicer house would also not so bad for me. Can you help me out? And they, of course, will also promise to help you out insofar as to propagandize the idea of how valuable your service is as a central banker, that you can print money out of thin air. Now, what is the consequence if I print up additional sums of paper money? I should add one additional thought. Now, what are the consequences of printing up additional money? Obviously, by printing up additional money, society as a whole cannot be made richer. If that could be done, then we could not explain why there are any poor countries on earth. After all, even the craziest countries in the world are able to run printing machines. And we could not explain why it is that there is a single poor person on earth. But nonetheless, and this is something that I find often mind-boggling, it seems that the entire economic profession believes in alchemy. That is, they all, again, recall, increasing the money supply is the way that we are trying to get ourselves out of a crisis. Almost the entire economics profession seems to believe in the same sort of miracle that alchemists believed in, that you can take something that is absolutely worthless and somehow create wealth with this. Additional pieces of paper are just that, additional pieces of paper, not increasing the wealth in society that consists of consumer goods and producer goods one whit. Now, what this new money does is, of course, it raises prices. But while it cannot make society as a whole richer, it can make those people richer who get the money first and spend the new money first. He who gets the money first can now buy additional goods. prices then begin to rise. Those people who get the new money last, or not at all, or later, they will have to pay higher prices. So additional sums of money redistribute income within society without making society as a whole richer. Those people who get the money first become richer at the expense of those people who receive the money very late in the process. They become poorer as a result. So it engenders a redistribution of wealth and income in society, but it cannot possibly make society as a whole richer. Now, from your point of view, again recall, you are the central banker. From your point of view, of course, this system is just simply perfect. And of course also for your friends. Except it has one flaw, and the flaw is it is easy for other people to realize what is going on. It is, people realize, oh, this guy is simply printing up money, and then he buys himself something nice, and in the course of it, the rest of, and of course, those people who get the money next, they are also improving their standard of living, but the rest of the people will become poorer as a consequence. That is, this simple, easy money policy, while that is perfect from your point of view, has the major disadvantage that almost everyone after a short period of time will realize this is just a big fraud. So you have to just come up with a slightly more sophisticated way of doing the same thing, of organizing the banking system in such a way that it is not quite as obvious to the public what is really going on. And this brings me to the basic structure of the current financial system. And it goes like this. So now you are looking for the leading bankers in your country. And make them your friends. You form a banking cartel. You are not simply buying goods with newly printed money. Instead, you loan out your freshly printed money at interest rates lower than market interest rates. Actually, you can even loan out your money at zero interest. After all, you can create this credit out of thin air. So you don't have to save anything in order to extend a credit to somebody else. You just simply print up the credit, and then at very low interest rate, you loan it out to your banker friends. These banker friends, of course, gladly accept your low interest credit and loan this credit out to their main clients, also at lower rates than market interest rates would normally be. And you even permit your banker friends that they can, on their own, create additional credit on top of the credit that you as a central banker created. Now you realize that this already looks somewhat different. Now it looks not like you are simply buying something to consume. Now it looks like there's really investment going on, that you are really caring about investment rather than your personal consumption and your personal enrichment.